I'm going to lose my housing. All because the guidelines for Section 8 have changed since you-know-who got into office. They're saying that if you have a child that is school-aged, meaning if you don't have to stay home with your child, you have to be able to obtain employment, have a full-time job, and you cannot be on Section 8 past 2 years.
Something tells me that women on Section 8 are going to really be looking to date this fall. And let me explain to you why. Section 8 is being cut by 43%. Billions is being taken from it. And instead of it being administrated by HUD, they are sending grants directly to your state. So that means if you live in a state that's very red, like Texas or Florida, chances are they're not giving you your voucher back. They're not giving new vouchers to people that want them. Chances are they're going to use that money in other places.
So it looks like the government started catching on to people taking advantage of the Section 8 program. And now they're starting to cut people off. So in this video, let's talk about it.
Hey, so for anybody that's wondering what's going on with Section 8, if it's true about they trying to get rid of Section 8, it's very much true. That is very much so. That is not no lie. That is not no gossip. That is a fact. And if you don't believe me, check this out. So basically what that means is the government is basically slowly pulling the plug on Section 8, HUD, and any other government assisted living, okay? So what that means, your housing voucher, your Section 8, your HUD, your GRAFA, whatever, if it's funded by the federal government, they cutting that in half, meaning it's not finna be a lot of government housing going on, okay? Now, with all of that being said, they also changing stipulations and guidelines when it come to being qualified and being a recipient of Section 8. And some of that goes along with this. Now, some of those new stipulations and guidelines is this. If you've been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this going in effect, you coming up off of it. Going forward, you can no longer be on Section 8 no more than 2 years. If you have been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this law going into effect, when it go into effect, you coming up off of it immediately. They notifying tenants who've been on it longer than 2 years, meaning you could have got back on it in 2010. If you have been on it longer than 2 years, they notifying tenants, and each state is going to vary. You have 60 to 90 days, depending on which state. 60 to 90 days after you are notified that you have been on Section 8 longer than 2 years, you have to find somewhere else to stay at, because after they notify you, have 60 to 90 days before you basically will be evicted, removed from the program. It's no more generation to generation, none of that stuff. It's a wrap. This is not a Georgia law, this is not a Texas law, this is not an Alabama law, this is a United States law. Meaning once this is passed, every state that receives funding from the federal government to support assisted living, they cutting the funding in half. And once they cut it in half, they trying to come back and do away with it altogether. Stay tuned.
So what it looks like they're trying to do is get people out of the program who's been in the program for years now. Basically saying that if you don't have your stuff together within the time that you had, then we don't know what to tell you. And now the new people on the program are gonna get a 2-year grace period to be able to get their stuff together. Basically, what's been going on is there have been people in this program for the last 10, 20 years now, even passing it down generation after generation, who most likely don't even need the assistance anymore. So what the government is trying to do is get those people out of the program to make room for people that actually need the assistance.
2 years, I'm going to lose my housing. All because the guidelines for Section 8 have changed since you-know-who got into office. They're saying that if you have a child that is school-aged, meaning if you don't have to stay home with your child, you have to be able to obtain employment, have a full-time job, and you cannot be on Section 8 past 2 years unless you have a disability. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can. But you know what really gets me? Watching people act like responsibility is an attack. I just watched this video of her saying that she's going to lose her home in 2 years because of Donald Trump's new Section 8 policy. That if your child's school age, you have to work full time and you can't stay on assistance forever. Honestly, the fact that so many are offended by this is what's truly insulting. Not just to me, but to millions of other people who fought tooth and nail to rebuild their lives. People who have started from nothing and refuse to stay victims. I know what struggle looks like. I'm an addict in recovery from heroin. I've done 48 months in prison and another 18 months in county jail. And when I got out, I had nothing. Not a dollar, not a dime, nothing to my name. But I went to work, hauling granite countertops everywhere, 7 in the morning to 9 at night, 6 days a week. And guess what? 13 months later, I had my own apartment, my own food, my own health insurance, and I paid every bill myself. But here's the part most people don't know. I also live with bipolar 1 disorder, and not once have I ever used that as an excuse for a bad decision or a wrong turn. I stayed accountable, I kept my dignity, and above all else, I held on to my integrity, which meant doing the right thing when nobody was watching. That's what's missing today: accountability, discipline, pride in earning your own way. Section 8 and other programs were never meant to be permanent. They were created to help people through tough times, not to carry them for life. So no, this policy is not cruel. It's a challenge. It's a reminder that we all have the power to rise. Because once you stop letting the government define your limits and you start betting on yourself, that's when freedom really begins. And to me, sweetheart, it sounds like you got a clock.
It's actually crazy because a lot of people out there feel like they deserve to be on Section 8 because they don't want to do anything else. If you're an able-bodied adult, you should be able to want to go to work and get your own money. Section 8 was never supposed to be something that keeps you going your entire life through generation after generation. It's not supposed to be a lifeline. It's always been something that was supposed to help people get back on their feet and get things going themselves. But so many people out there seem to be taking advantage of that, and that's why they're changing things up.
Wow, this is a big one. Big changes are happening to Section 8 housing this fall, and it can affect millions of families nationwide. The 2026 budget proposal kicks in October 1st, 2025, and they're reducing the HUD budget by $33 billion. That's 44% less funds that would go towards Section 8 and rental assistance. They're moving the funds to the state block grant program, which is going to have $26.7 billion less than they do today. That means the states would be responsible for the rest for Section 8. And the big one, the 2-year cap on assistance. That means after 2 years, if you are an able-bodied, you cannot get Section 8 assistance anymore. Some people think this is unfair because it's not giving enough time for people to get back on their feet, and some people think it's time for this to end already. Let me know in the comments below, should there be more time or not? But for those of you guys who are buying a home today, here is the nationwide average mortgage interest rates. Remember, these rates are just a ballpark. Give your lender a call so you can get an accurate quote.
Something tells me that women on Section 8 are going to really be looking to date this fall. And let me explain to you why. Section 8 is being cut by 43%. Billions is being taken from it. And instead of it being administrated by HUD, they are sending grants directly to your state. So that means if you live in a state that's very red, like Texas or Florida, chances are they're not giving you your voucher back. They're not giving new vouchers to people that want them. Chances are they're going to use that money in other places, in other areas, okay? Here's the other thing. If you do get a voucher, you have 2 years. You can stay on a maximum of 2 years. Right now, on average, people are staying on Section 8 for 6 years. So you can stay on 2 years maximum. And you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work. Because if you're able-bodied, and able-bodied working people means that it doesn't matter if you have kids, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. You're not hurt. You're not injured. You didn't get hurt in the military. You're not a disabled veteran. You're not a disabled person. You're just someone that got pregnant a lot of times and had a lot of kids. And that's just how you've been getting Section 8 and benefits. Oh, it's game time for you. It's game time. So I got a feeling that a lot of women are getting ready to start changing their positions on independence and dating.
To think that there's people who aren't on Section 8 who have 3, 4, 5 kids and they manage to get by. They go out every day, they work their job to make their own money. Then there's people in the Section 8 program in the same position who use that as an excuse. Now, like they said, if you're an able-bodied adult, you should be able to go and work for yourself. 2 years of government assistance should be more than enough time for you to get help, go work for yourself, save up some money, and get things going. It shouldn't take you 5, 10 years to get back on your feet.
Baby, y'all see what they're doing with that Section 8 program, huh? It's crazy how they're doing everything. So if you've been on Section 8 for 20, 30, 40 years, they're telling you that you got to be out of there within like the next, I think, 60 days. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're letting you know that it's no longer. But they're giving you a 2-year grace period if you just recently own it. But the Section 8 program is being cut. You got to get out. And it's just crazy all over the world. And at the same time that they telling people they got to get out for Section 8, and they no longer be on Section 8, especially when you've been on it for that long. And when you've been passing it down, they're like, they don't care. You got to go. With that being said, they also created a law where it's illegal to be homeless. So you can't be on Section 8 It's illegal to be homeless, so they're arresting homeless people and telling them they can't be on the street, dragging their cots and their tents and stuff off the street, putting them in garbage cans. Because now they're saying it's illegal to be homeless. But yet, they're putting you off of a program that assists you. Because Section 8 ain't free. You have to pay some of that bill. They don't just give you the whole thing. Some people may get 100%, but not, baby, that's rare. Section 8 ain't free. They're putting you off a program that will assist you to pay your rent. And now they're telling you it's illegal to be homeless. So we can't make it make sense. They also messing with those people at the nursing home. They closing wings because of the Medicaid is cut. It's over with. And so basically they're telling you, go check on your people at the nursing home. This is happening in real time. This is happening in real time. If you're seeing this video and you on that program, get yourself together, because you may not have received your letter yet, but you know who you are. Get yourself together. Get your family together. Do what you got to do. We'll see what you can do. Rent out a room, rent out a section, or do something like that. But you guys be blessed.
Being on the Section 8 program for more than 20 years is the reason why they're changing things up. People have been taking advantage of this program for way too long, passing it down generation after generation to their kids who don't even get a chance to work for themselves. So a lot of people that's been on the Section 8 program for this long are going to be upset about it. But this right here should help with making room for people who never had a chance with getting in the program in the first place. Now let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, because this was the end of the video. But if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comment section. Now if you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button too, so you can stay tuned for the next upload. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.